Hi scientists, it's Mrs. Greenwald, and today you'll see that I have posted your first educational packet. Now this packet is intended to help you continue your science education even while you're at home. I've hand-selected activities that I think are fun and engaging as well as challenging to help prepare you for the next school year. The purpose of this video is to help walk you through some of the more challenging aspects of your packet, to help answer some of the questions you may have as you're setting up for these activities, and to get you on the right path. Now, as you're doing these activities, I encourage you to try as many as you have time for, and also I have posted additional activities that you can complete online if you are able to do so. The first packet focuses on the human body, and my goal for you in this packet is to learn more about your body and how it works so that you can make better decisions for your body and how to stay healthy. So let's go ahead and get started on some of these activities. Okay, so your educational packet is going to include a science choice board. Now this choice board is intended for you to be able to pick and choose which activities most interest you, which ones you will have time to complete, and which ones are going to be challenging for you to complete. You may choose any of the activities on here. You may choose to do all of them. However, I'm very aware of all of the other expectations you may have on you right now and the situation that you may be in. You might not be able to complete all of these activities, and that's okay. I do encourage you to try as many as you can, as they all have a good educational value. Please note that as I'm explaining this to you, the 3rd and 4th grade choice board looks a little bit different than the 5th and 6th grade choice board. The one that I'm showing you today is the 5th and 6th grade. The 3rd and 4th grade one is very similar. It just doesn't have as many activities for you to do. So there are several where you are going to read through the material and answer some questions about what you just read. The body systems, there is going to be a page in your packet that has all of the different body systems, what they do, and how they work, and then there are some questions that you will answer. So the questions are how the systems work together. For instance, what systems are working together when you eat a banana, when you ride a bike, when you play on the computer, when you're sleeping. There are a couple more readings as well. The why are muscles important, why is digestion important, and why is blood important. Each of those are very short readings that have some questions that go along with them. Hi. So this is the fingerprint activity, and this one's really simple. The instructions say to use an ink pad, but I don't know about you, but I certainly don't have an ink pad at home. So what I'm going to do instead of an ink pad is create one using a pencil and a piece of paper. So Josie, what we're going to do is we're just going to scribble very darkly on our piece of paper. I'll show you how to start, and then you can add to it. Making a really dark mark. Doesn't have to be a big mark, probably no more than an inch, but just a dark mark. Can you add to that, please? Keep scribbling. Yep, right in there. Yep, perfect. Okay, so we want to make a mark that's dark enough that when we smear our finger on this, the pencil mark will come off onto our finger. Okay, so I just have nothing perfect, just a dark mark. I'm sure many of you know how to do this already because I've seen these marks on my table at school. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a piece of tape to help us with this. And I'm gonna use my lovely assistant here. I'm gonna use her fingerprints. So we're gonna start with your thumb. Show me your thumb. And you wanna smear your thumb in this to get as much of the ink on it as you can, or as much of the pencil lead on it. So smear it off. When you lift it up, You should have a dark mark on your thumb. You want to make sure, sorry baby, you want to make sure that you get the tip, keep going, get the tip of your thumb as well, just a nice smear. Okay. And with a piece of tape, just a piece of tape for presents, I forget what this is called, gift wrap tape. I'm just going to take a small piece and I'm going to put it over her thumbprint. Okay, and I want to smush it on to get as much of that detail as possible. And then I peel it up carefully. Okay, and when I peel it up, you may see that her fingerprint is on there. And on my worksheet, I now can put her fingerprint in that first box. So now I've got a perfect fingerprint. So you'll continue with the rest of them, and then what I encourage you to do is to, after you take a look at all of these, look carefully at your own fingerprint. Maybe try this with somebody else in your family. It doesn't, of course, have to be on the sheet. You could do it on something else. But I encourage you to compare your fingerprints with your family members as well. And if you're really feeling fancy about it, you can get onto different websites and learn about the different types of fingerprints that you use. Okay, this is the taste challenge, and the worksheet you're looking for says taste survey. And for this one, you want to try to get as many people in your house involved as possible. And you're gonna need some sort of blindfold. We just have a little headband here with her eyes covered, but I think she might be trying to peek. She's really interested in this one, really excited to give this one a try. So, hey, don't peek, no peeking. So what we're doing with this activity is I want you to find some foods around your house in your refrigerator and your cupboard, and you're gonna wanna write them down on your taste survey. So I have a few things. I have chocolate pudding, hummus, ketchup, jam, peanut butter, and butter. And Josie, what she's going to do is she's gonna cover her eyes, and I'm going to feed her these foods and see if she can guess what they are just by tasting them, without being able to see with her eyes what they are. And as she does, I'm going to put a check mark or a tally mark on either correct guess or incorrect guess. I would recommend a tally mark. So if you're doing this with multiple people in your house, you can get as much data as possible. So my little peeker, my taste tester, are you ready?
Yeah.
No peeking. Okay, here is the first item. Trust me.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter, good. So under peanut butter, I'm gonna put a tally mark saying that she was correct, that she got this one correct. So on my sheet, you can see I have a tally for peanut butter. Okay, you ready for the next one?
Hummus.
Hummus, good job. Mark hummus, you got that one correct. I'm gonna scooch you so you're in the camera a little bit more.
Pudding.
Pudding, good job. She likes this game.
Ketchup.
I was gonna say, if you don't get that one right, man, that one's one of your favorite foods. We like ketchup on everything, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Jelly.
Jelly, good. And one more.
Is it raspberry jelly?
Strawberry, actually.
Oh.
You're close.
Butter.
Butter. Okay, so you can take off your headpiece, and after you get as many people to do your test as possible, I want you to answer the questions at the bottom. And then I also encourage you to, I don't know if you're gonna have a back side of this when you get your packet or not, maybe on a separate piece of paper, maybe you can make a small one in your margins. But I want you to make a bar graph of how many people guessed correctly versus incorrectly on your taste test challenge. And of course, answer the questions. I encourage you to do this one at home. Try it out on your family members, and then let me know on Google Classroom if you had some fun with this, which ones were easier to identify, were you able to stump any family members on anything, and so forth. So that is the taste survey, taste challenge. All right, this activity is called Think Fast. It's super simple. All you need is a ruler and a partner. This is Mr. Greenwald.
Hi.
Okay, so when your partner holds the ruler, you want to have the 0 centimeter side facing down. So hold the ruler up, and then you're going to hold the, or you're going to have your hand in the position as if you're ready to grab it. You want to have the 0 centimeters at the top of your hand, so when they drop it, you can catch it. Okay, so where my first finger and thumb stopped is at 19 centimeters. That is what I would write down for my first trial. 19 centimeters. Do it again 2 more times, and then circle the fastest time and compare it to one of these categories. Very simple, a lot of fun. If you don't have a ruler at home, you can still do the Think Fast activity by making a makeshift ruler. It's very simple. You just need some sort of stick. You can find a stick in the yard. I had an extra dowel rod lying around, and some sort of marking tool, marker, crayon, pen, something to mark the stick. It's a good rule of thumb that your pinky, the width of your pinky, is about the width of 1 centimeter. So since we're measuring this in centimeters, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our pinky as our ruler, as our measuring tool as we're making our makeshift ruler here. So make sure you can see it. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to mark from the bottom. I'm gonna put my pinky on the end here, and I'm just gonna make a mark and then do it again all the way up. You may need somebody to help you out. Maybe that partner that was gonna help you earlier. Mine keeps rolling on me. Okay, so it's not a perfect tool, but if you're doing the activity, you can very easily still catch this. Remember, keep your hand at the bottom mark, catch it. When you move all the way up, then you can count all the way up to how many centimeters you actually measured. So this is how you can do it without a ruler. Okay, 5th and 6th graders, you're a little bit older, so I have a little bit more expectations out of you. So I've given you a few more options to try. They are highlighted in yellow here. Cell diagrams, seeing them all a different way, and divide and multiply. So let's focus on the cell model first, or the cell diagram first. In your packet, you will see 2 different cells, a plant cell and an animal cell. They are both labeled with all of their organelles. Now, 6th graders, some of these words may look a little familiar to you, as we just talked about this in our last unit. However, this might be a jump start for the 5th graders to get a heads up for next year. So what I'm encouraging you to do with this activity is to compare and contrast plant and animal cells. What do you notice about them? How are they alike? How are they different? Then I want you to research and summarize the different functions of each of the organelles or parts of the cell. So for instance, what does the cell wall do? What is the mitochondria? What does it do? What's the cell membrane? What is a vacuole? What is a nucleus? And so on and so forth. The next page is also, again, might be kind of familiar for the 6th graders, 5th graders. This will give you a heads up on next year, what you're going to be seeing. Looking at a mall in a different way. what we're going to be doing on this page is we are comparing the structures of the cell to the structures of a mall. We're looking at the mall as a system. Remember, a group of parts that work together to perform an activity. The mall system, what it does is we have different stores that are working together to provide goods and services for their patrons. The cell does the same thing. It's a group of organelles or parts that work together to perform certain functions. So here we have the different organelles and their function or their job. Note that this may be helpful in doing research for the previous activity that I mentioned with the cell diagram. So looking at the function of these particular organelles of the cell, what structure is that most like in the mall? And so you're going to be comparing them and kind of grouping them that way. The last page I have for you that has to do with cells encourages a little bit of math here. So as we know, cells divide and cells multiply, just like with our virus, which of course is not a cell, it is not a living thing, but viruses do the same thing. They multiply very quickly. So you are going to grab a calculator for this activity, and you are going to figure out how many cells you're going to have after a certain amount of time using this multiplying aspect of what cells do and how they reproduce. Okay, so that's this week's educational packet on the human body. This will actually get you through the next 2 school weeks, and you can expect another educational packet from me in 2 weeks. Should you have any further questions about this, I'm going to have office hours, virtual office hours, where you can get online and talk to me. You can either email me at these times and I will get right back with you, or we can set up a video chat where you can ask me your questions face to face. Please make sure that you look at the other additional resources that I'm going to be posting on Google Classroom. If you have the time, there's a lot of really cool things that didn't quite make it into the packet, but I would love for you to see, such as videos and other activities that you can do online. So please stay posted. Please check your Google Classroom often. And as always, stay curious. Love you guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.